Welcome on in, guys, and it's Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. Appreciate you stopping by. We are closing in, ladies and gentlemen, on week one of the NFL season. As I record this, we are a mere 24 hours away from Chiefs and Ravens as we get this puppy underway. The Miami Dolphins getting ready, of course, for the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. And the first injury report is out for your Miami Dolphins. Much longer for them than it is for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just have safety Daniel Thomas, who is limited. His coach today saying that he's day-to-day. Christian Kirk, there was some questions about him. They say he's full go. For the Miami Dolphins, here's what they had listed on day one of practice this week. Teron Armstead, Calais Campbell, and Jalen Phillips, who's now that time flies, they all got vet rest days, so they were out. Guys who were limited: Quentin Bell dealing with a thumb, Aaron Brewer dealing with his hand, Kendall Fuller was limited with vet rest, so they limited his reps. Benito Jones, we find out he's dealing with the knee. David Long got a vet rest limited day. Jordan Poyer dealing with his thumb / vet rest. So a lot of guys also just dealing with some vet rest. Anthony Walker dealing with a knee with / some vet rest. And Malik Washington, rookie, so he can't have vet rest. He was limited with a quad. And then Javon Holland dealing with an ankle injury was a full participant in practice. One name that I have not mentioned, and that was the big news out of today, was Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is dealing with a hamstring injury. There was a lot of mystery surrounding this when it came to the former Jaguars, going and drafted by the Jaguars, and at some very good years there, was a key cog, as was Calais Campbell, in a team that went to the 2017 AFC Championship. That was a really, really great defense with a bum quarterback in Blake Bortles. But Jalen Ramsey is, dealing with this hamstring injury. And Mike McDaniel, strange in his answer about this today. He was talking about how with Jalen Ramsey, he is proud of him for dealing with it and not practicing because he's very bad about not wanting to be on the field.
Can you share with us what's been keeping Jalen Ramsey out of practice, and do you expect him to play on Sunday?
Mind you, this was before the injury report came out.
He's gone anti-grass. He just doesn't play on grass anymore. He's, I'm very proud of him. I've never been more proud of a player not practicing. Like, honestly, and no puffery. Like, on the regular, the dude practiced both with starters and on the scout team. Did the entire practice last year as he was coming back. He's just making me proud because he's showing some. He knows how important he is to the team and what he's looking for to accomplish with the team as a captain. So, I think everyone was kind of impressed because he. That's a different headache, Barry, dealing with him trying to be on the field when he's not supposed to. So it's good, and we'll the human body tells us. I don't really forecast that, but I know he's doing everything he can today, and there weren't any setbacks today. So that's how me. That's where my mind lays. So good day.
All right. That was something. Basically, I get out of that. Look, they're working on it. He didn't suffer any setbacks, as he said, so that's good. Not necessarily 100%. You don't know yet. And also, they are really trying to toe the line of, I guess almost an Odell situation of, hey, we don't want this to be something they get burned on later on in the year if it's something as an older player that could linger a little bit. So there you go. Dealing with a hamstring injury. We will see what tomorrow and that practice participation deals with. Not great. I mean, like, look, this is a secondary that is very young outside of their starters. And, this has definitely, I think, been a topic of debate recently on Dolphins Twitter about whether or not the secondary is better than last year and if the corners are better than last year. And yeah, I think it's a question that, look, if you have all of your guys there, then you feel good about what the Dolphins bring to the table. I think everybody, though Kendall Fuller didn't have a great statistical year last year, is very experienced. I think people like what he could do in this system and whatnot. Jalen Ramsey is obviously a future Hall of Famer, so you're going to have that trust that's there. But hey, man, like, this is one of those things where you're looking at this situation and who do you got back there to back this dude up? I mean, you're talking about Ethan Bonner, you're talking about Kader Kohu, you're talking about Storm Duck, you're talking about some young guys back there who you're gonna have to rely on in this situation, and it's a big ask. It's one of those things where you're just like, all right, do we can we rely on these guys to go and give us everything that they got, and can we look to the Siren Neals of the world to step up in this situation? I don't know. And I think that if you don't have one of your starting cornerbacks, I think Doug Peterson's going to have a huge sigh of relief. I mean, he was, spending today at practice, after practice, talking about just the weapon that is Jalen Ramsey and what he can present as a challenge for this team.
A solid player. I mean, you give him a lot of respect for what he's done in his career, and the thing you realize sometimes too is he can play inside, the nickel spot, and besides playing outside. So, you just got to know where he's going to be and understand that. Give him his respect, and players like this. I mean, these are good players to have on your football team, and he's one of those. Sort of their staples on defense. He's physical. I've gone against him a couple of times in different locations, and he's always seems to show up around the football. So you got to be careful where you throw the football.
And you certainly saw, like, immediately the impact Jalen Ramsey especially had when he first came back from the Dolphins last year. I mean, it felt like a big time game changer for him, and he did not get to be, I think, utilized in the manner that he wants. Yeah, but you're talking like one practice over the last 3 weeks. It was a discussion, Leroy and I were having today on the radio show. It's like, how much can you expect from these older players to just step in there and do it? Is it reasonable to expect these guys to go out there and just pick up where they left off? And especially, you're talking look, we've seen when Xavier Howard had to play with a tight groin or a messed up hammy. Didn't go great for him. And the Jaguars, have a first-round pick they're very excited about. They have a very fast receiver in Gabe Davis. They have Christian Kirk, who's very, very solid. They got Evan Ingram, who's a badass tight end. They got weapons. It's not like he's going up against a bunch of slouches out there. This is not an offense that's deprived of talent. And so the idea that you put him out there limited, and here's the other thing that is kind of the magic key to all this, and this will also play into the whole Jalen Phillips thing, is you got a game 4 days later. It's really kind of a rotten hand if you think about it. The Dolphins have been dealt back-to-back home games, but they're home games against two AFC teams, one divisional opponent, an AFC team that they may have a tie break with later on in the year if it comes down to wild card. Very, very critical games. And you have a team that does have a lot of guys dealing with stuff, even if they want to say it's vet rest. And to just, kind of shake it off like it's nothing, I don't think it's nothing. It does worry a little bit. Now, Jalen Ramsey is psychotic. He came back from his injury in a big way last year and was able to beat science in some regards. But to just go out there and expect him to be the Jalen Ramsey we're all expecting, I don't know. And certainly that particular injury. This is not like Jordan Poyer, who's dealing with a busted thumb and, can deal with that. That would be fine. It's not even like, I think, Javon Holland dealing with an ankle. They could maybe take that up a little bit. Yeah, and he's like, it's touch and go. That I think does got to leave you a little bit nervous for this Dolphins team going into this game. One thing, though, that was exciting going into this particular matchup is what the Dolphins are going to do with their weapons. And this was a fascinating one. Barry Jackson wrote a piece on what the Dolphins are planning to do to compensate for their lack of receivers. Dolphins are going into this thing. They got Braxton Berrios. They got their two studs in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But then, are lacking a little bit in the wide receiver department. We got to see what Malik Washington looks like, especially dealing with something on his part with the injury. You got Jonnu Smith, who you're bringing into the fold. Maybe you get a little bit more out of your tight ends with Julian Hill and whatnot. By the way, I got him at that plus 1750 on the anytime touchdown. That's my new guy. He's my new River Craycraft until River Craycraft comes back. But this was exciting, and there's been some hints of this. But De'Von Achane is also doing some work at wide receiver. And he really, I got to say, it feels almost criminal how much we've undercovered De'Von Achane going into this year. And he hasn't really dealt with any durability questions. That was kind of the knock on him, and warning about his size, put on a little bit of beef this offseason. But this man, look, nobody's the cheetah. Nobody's Tyreek Hill. Nobody's that fast. But maybe this guy. But maybe this guy, with how fast he is, with how explosive he is, nearly 8 yards a carry last year as a running back. But he's also saying that he has been working at wide receiver and said, quote, "I've been playing this my whole life. If it was the first time I was playing wide receiver, I'd be a little bit hesitant. But it's something that I've been doing. I did it at Texas A&M quite a bit. I've lined up at receiver when I was in high school." And Barry points out that last season, this is from the Miami Herald, Achane ran 48.3% of his routes from the slot or out wide, which was the highest percentage for any running back. That is per Scott Barrett. He got that from. Raheem Mostert was second at 39.3. Christian McCaffrey was third at 35.1. Exciting, because just anytime this guy gets the ball in his hands, absolutely electric. He is incredibly fun to watch, but it does feel like, Mostert gets a lot of the quotes because, he's a big media guy. Jalen Wright's kind of been the new belle at the ball because everybody's excited about the new running back. We've been talking about the running back battle because we've just kind of chalked De'Von Achane in there. But if you want to just talk, there's been a lot of buzz on Jonnu Smith, and there's been a lot of talk of the wide receivers because it's Cheetah's. Is Cheetah going to go for 2K? Jalen Waddle, is he going to have an even better season last season? For all of the explosive plays that De'Von Achane brought to the table last year, I feel like there's just been not zero buzz about him, but not enough. And I feel like this could be one of those things where we get there Sunday and it's like, oh yeah, that's how good this guy is. That's how dangerous this guy can be. And I think we saw it when he gets the ball. Holy crap, what he's able to do would be just absolutely incredible. And it is going to be fun to unveil what all of these wrinkles are that Mike McDaniel is going to bring, because there's been a lot of talk about the defensive mysteries to things, right? There's new defensive coordinator on the Jag side, Anthony Weaver. What is the bob and weave defense going to bring to the Miami Dolphins? But all of the evolutions that these players have been raving about that Mike McDaniel is bringing to the table, new wrinkles, new schemes, new things that he's adding to the repertoire, it is quite exciting, and you can't wait to see what it really looks like.